Hello and welcome to the B60 Top 4 show. Today I've got myself, Manny and Nick joining the show. Manny had a decent win against quite a worrying signs for West Ham. Netted five. What do you think of the game?
Yeah, it's a good game to be fair. It's a good game to be fair. I don't really have too many complaints. I mean, we didn't start off the game too well. Obviously, we were dominating possession because they let us. It's what we usually do when we play West Ham. We did it when we played them last year as well. Kind of dominate the ball. But they hit us on a counter attack, and Paqueta scored a really good goal. Um, but then on it was just a dominant performance. Don't really have any complaints. I mean, everyone played well. We moved the ball well, scored a lot of good goals. Um, no Cole Palmer to score 5 goals without Cole Palmer, especially away from home. Um, Although it was West Ham and they are struggling right now, is yeah, just a top performance. Esteval looked like it's going to be really important player for us. But yeah, just a good performance, man. No complaints. If we can play like that for most of the season, I can't see why we can't get top four easily. Um, so yeah, man, yeah, good performance.
You low-key look more fluid without Palmer. Hmm.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Palmer's our best player. You can't. I feel like if we had Palmer, it would have been 7 or 8. Like he's that kind of player. Like Palmer's the one that gets people involved. Um, but as about man in the match performance, I mean, do you know what I mean? There's not really too much to say. It's nice
Yeah.
to know we got that kind of depth in the squad. So
I watched that. I watched that game still, all of it as well. But obviously Estevan played good, but I don't think he should be man of the match. I think it was Pedro. Pedro Neto played really well. I mean, obviously you won 5-1 in it, so more time everybody played well. But I don't know. The only difference, obviously, again, you got to tax it there because West Ham in the stash. Or like what do you call it? But yeah, like it felt like a lot of your attacks were coming down the wings in it. And then also we scored a few set pieces in it. But a lot of the work that you guys were doing were like from down the wing. Pedro, not Pedro Paro, Joao Pedro. I feel like him and Liam the lap as well up front. It was almost like 4-4-2. But like Joao Pedro could just like drift wherever. And then he was getting crosses in the box, getting down the byline. I feel like when you do play, I'm not trying to say also you're better without Palmer. Palmer is a world class player. He's your best player, like you just said. But I feel like everything you try to almost push everything through him. Whereas against West Ham, it just felt like I don't know. Everybody was just eating, bro. But you got that much talent in the squad that you can't batter the likes of West Ham and that. You know what I mean? Like 5-1 without your best player. So,
Yeah, I
but
kind
yeah,
of agree with what you're saying. It felt like more of like a team performance rather
mm-hmm.
because I think sometimes when you do have like a talisman, a bit like Palmer, like you said, you are more likely to feed everything through him. Whereas I feel like this gave everyone like opportunities like out. So it was more of a collective performance. But
It's
yeah,
a good sign though. It's a good sign for Chelsea because it just shows you got plenty of match winners in it. It's not just on Palmer. You've got, I said, you got talent all over that squad, bro. You don't. It doesn't need to always go through Palmer. You can just let Pedro Neto, let Estavio, let them get the ball cook on the outside for a bit, and then get it into some of the strikers. But yeah, it, yeah. I don't know. I like Liam Delap and Joao Pedro playing together, but also when Palmer's back, one of them missed the whole bench in it. So you can't play both of them.
yeah, um, yeah, we had no choice really but to play down the wings. I don't know if you watched the game.
Mm,
Like, you watched,
no.
like they were literally blocking the middle. Like there were so many players down the middle, but we got
Mm.
one that are capable of doing that. So yeah, man, just a good performance. Hopefully we can keep it up.
yeah, I think that's even more of a worrying sign for West Ham though. Like, they played a low block and they still conceded five. Like, yeah, it's looking bad.
Yeah.
Like Sunderland nearly got promoted. They lost 3-0 to them as well. It's 8 goals in the first two games, I think.
I'm sure Sunderland as well lost at the weekend, no?
Yeah,
Was it
they
Leeds that they
did this on
played?
Leeds, so like it's even worse for West Ham
No,
because
no, not Leeds. Can't remember who they played, but they got beat.
that's what I mean. So like, I think it's a bit worrying for West Ham. I think Potter's days might be a bit numbered. I don't know, like because if you look at West Ham squad, they've got a couple players in there, like, like your Bowens, your Paquetas, like don't know, maybe they shouldn't be like down there. But I know it's only a couple games into the season, but I think it's just bread and butter defending it. Like it's poor defending from set
Yeah,
piece.
it's poor defending, and poor keeping, everything.
I
Like it
think
doesn't matter if you've got top players like Paqueta and Bowen. If you're going to be defending like that, you're going to be losing every week.
I think another bad loss, like another like maybe 3-4-1 or something like that. I think his head's gonna be on the line.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think because yeah, they don't even play like a typical Graham Potter team either.
You don't have the personnel for it though. I don't think. Like you got Suchek and Ward-Prowse in the like pivot positions. Like, come on, what? Yeah, I mean, it's a bit peak.
Yeah, because they let that Edson Alvarez go as well. I know he wasn't amazing, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think they need someone else in the middle.
facts.
Well, they lost Kudos as well, so that probably
Yeah.
had an impact with them, even though he didn't have the best season last year.
No, they're so screwed, bro. They're so screwed. I'm just looking at their games. Yeah, obviously tomorrow they've got EFL Cup game against Wolves. Their Loki could lose that away from home, and then after that in the Prem they've got Forest away, and then they've got Spurs, and then they've got Crystal Palace, Everton at Everton's new ground, and then Arsenal. Like
Where's the
that's
next?
until like that's their next 5 games.
Where's the next win coming from for that? I can't. I literally
Yeah, I can't see it.
teams. I'm not even joking.
Mm. Okay.
I can't see it, bro. Like they might get punched up every single game. Maybe Crystal Palace at home, but look, Crystal Palace are better than them.
Yeah.
Everton at Everton's new ground, maybe, but I'd still fancy Everton against Forest away from home, Spurs and Arsenal. Yeah, long day, long day for them.
Yeah, I think the fan base is pretty despondent. So I was on the train up from down south early, and there's a few West Ham like fans talking. They were just saying like they feel like they're watching like championship football. But like a
Yeah.
lot of them were saying like it'd be embarrassing to drop down to the championship. But like they were saying as well, like they don't understand how the ticket prices are the way they are as well. If they're watching that, like they were quite disappointed. So yeah, fan base is turning as well. So I
Good
think
riddance to West Ham, man. I won't be sad to see them go down.
yeah, because you won't be.
Huh?
No, to be honest, I don't mind keeping
No,
West.
I won't be.
They're one of
Forget them.
those
They can
teams
go
that
down.
you can lick like 5, 6 goals off against. I know we did it one season. I think we beat them 5-0 and then 6-0 away or something like that. Like they're one of those teams you get the goal difference up against. Like
But they only turn up against Spurs. They just hate Spurs bare. So forget them, man. I don't care. Keep getting battered. Good riddance, man.
there's an established point club, yeah. It'd be weird to see them go down, but if it happens, it's a bit peak for them. Nick, I'll go on to Spurs. Big result against City, 2-0
Mm,
winners. We've got a good record against them. But yeah, Thomas Frank's perfect start continued.
yeah. To be fair though, even like before the game, I know us was in the news, the whole Eze thing, but I went to the game quite confident because the way that it was similar to the PSG game, even though our tactics are completely different, but the personnel that we've got currently, especially the midfield, we've just got athletes in it. So athletically, the only team that can really chat to us is Arsenal. Just for the sheer amount of like 6 foot plus athletes in their prime of their career that we can play. So if you're playing a smaller, diminutive team who are all technical, like City, I feel like we've got a physical edge over them. And also bear in mind that the record we always just seem to do well against City in general anyway. So I would have been quite confident, especially when I saw the lineup. I knew like the likes of Brennan Johnson would cause problems on the counter. The midfield for Benton Court, Pape saw unreal the other day, and also Paulinho as well. They can hold their own in midfield, especially when City haven't got like Rodri in there. There's no Rodri, there's no real De Bruyne's in there. Also, the new players that they've got, the new players in it. So fair enough, can go to Wolves away and like put lashings on them, but obviously it's a different story, and we're a way better team than Wolves. So we're not just going to roll over like that. But the thing that impressed me the most actually was Thomas Frank. Obviously, his tactical flexibility, but also before the game, what he said about the whole Eze situation, and it's similar to how I felt. Like I respect Eze; he's a good player, so on and so on. But if he wanted, honestly, he did want to. I prefer to go to Arsenal. Fair, he's got his reasons, but that's that. Then, isn't it? You just move on. Like if he doesn't want to be there, cool, calm. Focus on the players who want to be there because these are still good quality players. Like when the likes of Kulusevski come back, Bergvall, you don't know in the future, but Kulusevski right now is only what 24, 25 compared to Eze's 27. Are they really that different? You know what I mean in terms of quality? They're both top quality players. So we've got players like that to come back. And then in the meantime, like games, one-off games like City away, I'll say I trust the coach to come up with like a master plan. But as long as that team harmony and like the outside noise of like Levy, fans protesting against the transfers don't affect the squad too much, which look like it hasn't because of the coach. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And it was a positive performance. It all came about when we do have our starting 11, not 11, but starting back line. We're a pretty tough team to beat. That was the case with Ange, with everyone else. But now that you've got a coach that's going to put them in their best positions to actually succeed in that specific game, it's only going to help them. So yeah, it was a good performance all around, and yeah, on to the next one. Really, it's only match week 2. You can't. This result isn't going to define our season or City's season. Like we beat City the same game at their ground last year 4-0. You get what? And we still had a poor Premier League season. You just got to be consistent.
Yeah, I think you're a bit of like City's bogey team, honest. But yeah, I kind of like Thomas Frank's comments in his press conference after the whole Eze thing, like talking about like he only wants players who want to play for the badge. And he's right, you got to have players that like their hearts like fully in signing for the club.
Mm,
Because I think came out in a press conference, I talked to Arteta about apparently how we weren't even like we hadn't even approached for Eze yet. And on Wednesday, apparently Eze called Arteta asking if there's any way he could possibly move. And that's what kickstarted the whole move. It was actually from Eze himself. So I think it was obvious like he was at the academy as a kid. He grew up as an Arsenal fan, his family like Arsenal fans as well. So I'm happy he got that move. But like, yeah, I agree. I think you've struggled with players, like to bring players in. But having said that, you've still had a really good start under Frank. I know it's only like Kudos that's come in really, but and a few others. But I think you probably could do with a couple players coming in. But I think the signs are quite positive under Frank so far. You probably have
I don't mind that. Because they're trying, innit? They're trying to get like we could, I don't know, get that lower caliber players. You get what I mean, and just save the embarrassment and grab them. But
Mm.
yo, if you're gonna start coming and eating at the big boy table, just know there's gonna be bigger boys with bigger checkbooks with, you know what I mean, with actual repertoire and like obviously history and respect that they're gonna come and fishing at that same table too. So those are the risks that you're gonna obviously take to try and get the best players possible. But again, if you can't, hopefully you've got an infrastructure in place where you can pick up the slack, you know?
Yeah, I just think the one position I probably would say is like number 10 though, just because I know you got Kulusevski coming back, but obviously he'll probably play more wide. Yeah, I know he can play in the 10 as well, but then I just think with Madison's injury, you don't want to leave yourself short because it probably looks like what he'll be out for like the whole season. I do think you need someone in there. And I know you looked at Nico Paz as well, but I think you got an agreement to go back to
I,
Madrid.
I, I think it's more crucial we get a left winger than
Okay.
a 10. You can play without a 10. There's no one rule that says you
Mm.
have to play with a 10, you know? Like you can play free midfield and then you're just giving him license to go forward. Bergvall, when he joined us, yeah, he transitioned into a more of an 8 role, but he can play a 10. He played predominantly last season as a 10 because Kulusevski was injured a lot. So was Madison. He's got experience to play there, but our strongest midfield is that, funny enough, it's what we're playing against City currently. It's a three of so you've got a 6, a destroyer in Paulinho. You've got somebody and basically 2 box to box guys. You can just cover every blade of grass in Benson Court and Saar. And they've got enough quality to. This is what I mean when we need a proper left winger because I trust Kudus and I trust whoever he puts up front. But Brendan Johnson, Godspeed to Ryman, but he does get goals, especially crucial ones. But his general play is not consistent enough to warrant putting that much faith in him. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So yeah, but there's a lot of teams like if you look at Barcelona, for example. Obviously, our players are not as good as theirs, but Danny Olmo, who comes in and out of the lineup, a lot of times they don't play. You know what I mean? They don't play a 10. Real Madrid, for example, is Jude Bellingham a 10? Or is he more like an 8 who transitions? Like it varies. You get what I mean? Like as long as you get goals in the back of the net, maybe you have to go down the wing, cross the ball in, and then try and score that way. But now we've got big 6 foot athletes that where they can just go in the box and try and header it in, and we can try and score different ways. Even like Arsenal, they've shown you that with a good defense and set pieces, you can win about 10 games a season just off that alone. You know what I mean? So you just got to be tactically flexible. So I don't mind. If they don't want to come, they don't come. We can adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I suppose Paulinho's a small bit of his as well, no. Obviously Prem proven as well.
Even good, man.
But we'll have to see what happens in the rest of the window. Obviously Arsenal 5-0 winners against Leeds. Yeah, they're a newly promoted side and like they got a decent result last weekend, but I think like you could probably kind of see the levels a bit in this game. It was kind of like a comfortable victory. Obviously, it's good Gyökeres getting 2 goals, getting his account underway. I kind of like the bit of almost bit of a response he kind of gave to all the criticism he was getting about. I think in the United game they were saying he had more touches of his hair than the ball, but his like last celebration for his second goal, he did a little hair flip. Like I kind of rate that in him, and I think he's one of those players who just like he's desperate to score goals. He may not be like like a link striker like we're used to with like Havertz and like Jesus, etc. But he will definitely score goals for us this season. We had pretty good performance around the pitch. Timber got like 2 goals and an assist from right back, solid in the game. Um, Max Dowman on his 15 came on, won the penalty for the 5th goal, but he looks scary as well. Madueke did all right on the left, but I think when Saka got injured, he moved onto the right for a bit before he got replaced by Darwin. He just looks more comfortable on the right, I think. Just cutting on his left foot. But overall, I think we played like really, really well. Again, I think midfield, Zubimendi had a decent game. Um, it's unfortunate about Erdegaard and Saka injuries. Only like we're on negative points. Hopefully they're not out for too long because obviously we've got Liverpool on the weekend, so probably to come too soon for them. We probably would have needed them in that game. You kind of never want to go into a game without probably your best player and your captain, but hopefully we can with Eze coming in, you can fill in one of those roles, and we've got a bit more depth in the squad now, so I think we're more adept to dealing with it than we were last season. But yeah, I think it'll be a good game next week. But we'll see where we can judge where we're at. No Liverpool playing tonight, but they got the win last week. They looked a bit shaky against Bournemouth, I think. You look like I can get at them in transition. So we'll see whether we can exploit that because I think last season we were a bit one-dimensional in terms of like we had that low blocks and we used to move it side to side, trying to break them down. Obviously, set pieces as well, like some of our biggest threats. But I think this season with like Gyökeres in there, it does give us that option to play the ball in behind. Because I think last season we only really had Martinelli who could probably like run in behind with pace, and I don't know whether he's like I don't know. Arteta's quite big on control, but I think with Gyökeres, I think we feel more confident to play the ball in behind. You saw it with his first goal where he got into that left channel. I think he says that's sort of one of his areas he likes to play in, cutting on his right foot, and it's a decent finish. So I think that would be good to add that to our game, like playing a bit more direct this season, as well as like obviously the slow, like patient build up. So I think positive signs, and I think next week we'll see where we're at. And yeah, it's a tough start to the season, so hopefully Saka and Odegaard aren't injured for too long. But I'll come to you, Manny, if you're hot or not this week.
Yeah, I don't really have a knock, to be fair. Normally played badly, so I think this is the first time I'll leave the knock. It'd be too harsh to give it to anyone. Um, Could have given it to Esteval because he did give away the ball for their goal, trying to try some skills in the middle of the park, but he ended up having a man of the match worthy game. So I won't give it. I won't say him, but I'd say my heart either give it to. There's a few players. I think Pedro Neto played really well. I think obviously Esteval played very well. João Pedro played. Bro, I could say everyone, bro. Even Caicedo was. I don't know. I'll give it to Esteval, even though we give a boy the ball for their goal. I think even though it was a late call up after Cole Palmer pulled up in the pre-game warm up to come in and then just basically show his talent. Yeah, man. If Cole Palmer's out for maybe a couple more weeks, then he's more than capable of filling that position. So yeah, I'll give it to him.
And Nick, you're hot or not for this week?
Um, mm, no, my heart's easy. I was thinking about the nut, but you know what? The nut could be. Guys, that you know what? Just give it Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy, man. They stayed giving us like us fans a big headache. Some of the just negotiations that he just doesn't make sense. But yeah, just not. Yeah, their frustrations as a deal. Even just the way there's brief in the media regarding that is it Piero Hincapi, whatever his name is, the centre back from Leverkusen. Just loads of conflicting reports. They seem to just be just scrambling around from a transfer market perspective. But hot. I was going to give it to Saar, but you know what? I'll give it to Thomas Frank this week because I feel like it was a team win as opposed to one individual who stood out or like took the scruff of the game, like took the game by the scruff of the neck. So I'll give it to Thomas Frank, which funny enough, obviously neither of them actually play on the pitch, but they're having counteracting effect to the actual team. But yeah, therefore Thomas Frank deserves his flowers. Again, he's another manager. I think I saw only Mourinho and Conte have beat Pep Guardiola twice with two different teams in the Premier League. So I don't know. I'm saying a lot of teams have tried and probably failed. So yeah, it's not easy, but yeah, credit to Thomas Frank, man. He hasn't even let like the highs of Ange winning that trophy and getting sacked because I know a lot of people are quite emotional about that. But he hasn't really let that affect him and what he's trying to do with the team. So yeah, Thomas Frank and Daniel Levy.
Yeah, I think for Arsenal again, it's kind of like man, it's difficult to pick, and that's certainly good performance across the pitch. I think it's probably between Timber and Gyökeres. I know Gyökeres got his 2 goals. Timber got 2 goals as well, and he got an assist. So I'll probably just give it to Timber because obviously he's solid at the back as well with a clean sheet. But yeah, Knott's kind of difficult. To be honest with you, bro, it's not even for Arsenal, but Leeds' keeper had a shocking game, to be fair, like Lucas Perry. He's meant to be quite a decent keeper, but he just looks so static. Like even for Saka's goal, Saka hit it quite hard, but it was nowhere near the corner. Just left it, and then even kind of for like Gyökeres, he kind of just fell on his side, bro. He just looked like I don't know his feet were kind of stuck in the mud a bit. The whole game, obviously, ship five. But yeah, I think yeah, I'll give the hot to Timber. And I'm gonna go into like a different segment. So if your team can make, there's 1 week left of the window. If your team can make one signing for the rest of the window, Manny, who should Chelsea sign?
Uh, um, I always said in the previous podcast that we needed a goalkeeper and a centre back, and we did bring in Hatto, but I think we do need another keeper to take us at next level. Obviously, Donnarumma was available, a world-class keeper. If we inquired about him, whether he'd want to come to Chelsea, I don't know. But I feel like teams would look at us differently if we brought in that kind of world-class keeper. Do you know what I mean? Like a Donnarumma or a Mike Magnan from AC Milan, or even a world-class centre-back. But if I'm being honest, I don't think we really need anyone. So I'm probably just going to say no one, just based off the fact that although Sanchez does have a mistake in him, so far he has performed okay, and it's not really Sanchez's goalkeeping ability. It's just the way he tries to play out with his feet. He can make some really poor decisions. Like his shot stopping is really good, so I suppose he can do for now until maybe next season when we may be able to sign Mike Maignan for free when his contract runs out. And a centre back, I mean, we've got so many. We probably do need another centre back to take us to the next level, but whether there's one out there, I know obviously Arsenal and Tottenham are inquiring about Nketiah, but I can't really think of one that we could probably get right now that's in the prime. So yeah, I don't know. I think we're set. I think with good level of consistency, we can really probably maybe try and push for the league. But I think our team's set. I don't think we really need to sign anyone.
I mean, Nick, if you could bring anyone in last week at the window.
Well, for me, it's only we've already linked with him. So, and I think I might have said it last week as well. For me, it'll be Savinho. I feel like Savinho, signing Savinho will answer so many problems. Not only right, like well, not only right now, but it's for the future as well. He's only 21 years old, and he's only so good. Playing in the Prem, I wouldn't say he's Prem proven because he didn't really do much last year, apart from the early few games. But yeah,
Nick,
just getting him in.
do you think he's a
Go
good?
on. Yeah, top quality. It's good quality. I won't say it's like world class or whatever. The thing is, and why I've read that City are not trying to sell him, his ceiling is so high. His ceiling is world class. But obviously, currently, the problem at City is that they also need they've got world class players now. They ain't really got time to be waiting for you to get there. But we kind of can do that. So I think yeah, Sevilla will sort us out like really well. Even let's say we play 4-3-3. Brennan Johnson isn't playing, he can just go on the left. And we need until the likes of Kulusevski come back and we need to have go against like a low block. You can put Kudus at Cam and then put Savinho on the right. No, sorry, put Savinho on the left and Brennan Johnson on the right. So that's because Kudus did play a lot of games at Cam for West Ham and also for Ajax before obviously he went over to West Ham. So yeah, he just answers a lot of our problems now, and it's also somebody who's just going to get better and better. So I would love to have Savinho in it, and yeah. Other than that, I think midfield, super solid midfield. Seems like Richarlison's turned up this year. I'm not surprised if it's a World Cup year, and we got him as Solanke. I'm okay with that up front. Um, yeah, and then defense. Well, as long as people stay fit, we'll be okay. I'm happy with Danso as our backup. Um, yeah, Spence as well can do both sides, covering both sides well. Keeper's okay. Vicario, like it's just that left wing position. It's just out wide where we need a bit more. We need bodies and quality as well. Especially it makes no sense, bro. Like we sold Son and like nothing's happened since.
Should have
Like
kept,
so, huh?
should have kept Mikey Moore instead of loaning him out.
Yeah, and then Rangers is it's falling apart as well. So all of that. But then again, he's so young. He's 18 years old, man. You can't expect him to carry things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for Arsenal, I think we've got most of our business done, to be fair. I would have said, obviously, we need someone on the left-hand side. I think we brought in Eze who can address that. And I think he'll play in a couple of positions around the pitch. So I think it'd be a really good signing for us. I think the only one where we may need to go back into market again. If the squad stays as it is now, I think we're complete. But I think if Kivior leaves, I think there's talk about Kivior and Zinchenko going. You might need another left-sided defender, another left centre back. We're getting linked with Piero in Sapa as Spurs were as well. But I think it's more of a case of we'll move for him if Kivior goes. I think there's talks about him going to Porto. So if that happens, then get Piero and Sappi in, but I'm quite happy with the squad. Yeah, I think Savinho would be a good signing for Spurs. again, like he did really well at Girona as well. He does look like a player. And yeah, he's young as well, so he's got plenty of time to get better and fulfill his potential. But
The thing
Mm.
about I just think his decision making can be a bit off.
I
Like,
think you get that with young players though. Like he's still young. I think give him a bit of time. Once he matures, he'll probably start making better decisions. I think that's something that
Yeah,
can be coached as well. It's not like a technical issue or anything. Like I
yeah,
think there's a player there. Only thing I think would be a bit like it'll probably be over 70 million euros for Spurs, which is fine, but I think that'll give Man City the money to go buy Rodrigo, and I kind of don't want that to happen, to be fair. Um, yeah, I'll be interested as well, I think, with City as well, because they'll have talk about Edison going to Galatasaray, so they might end up getting Donnarumma. Apparently, they've agreed terms. So if there is the case that Edison leaves, they can go and make a move for him. And yeah, I think he'd be a ridiculous signing for City as well. So ideally, I wouldn't want like Rodrigo and Donnarumma going there. So I think that really strengthens City. Um, but yeah, but on that, I'll end this week's show.
yeah.
Thanks both for joining. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll catch you again next week.